Okay, we're going to do some artwork cleanup. We're going to do it in Sign Wizard. After you've set up your Sign Wizard, there's a couple of things that you're going to want to do to keep the screen looking the same all the time. First of all, this little dotted line here is your define material box. All your letters are going to go in that box. But we want to open it up a little bit. So we're going to go to Layout Properties. We're going to change this to 80. We're going to change this to 200. We're going to Apply. And then we're going to go to this little red check mark and press that. That will keep this box, every time you open up Sign Wizard, keeps this box at that size. Another thing I like to do is paste this zoom bar up there. That is in View, Toolbar, Zoom. Just click on that and paste it up either here or down here, wherever it wants to lay. But you're going to use that a lot. That is pretty much the setup part. Let's import a job and clean it up. So you can import any job. We're doing a DXF file. You can import EPS, IA files. We're going to put use this job here. When you import a job, the first thing you need to look at is control points. This little button right here shows the control points. These guys call it vector/nodes. Other people call it control points. So this is what we're looking at, and as you see, there's a lot of control points on these radiuses. They look like they're straight lines, and they are. By just clicking on there and dragging down, I can see that this is all a bunch of straight lines. By hitting the backspace button on your keyboard, you can bring that back to where it was. So now, knowing that they're all straight lines, there's a couple of things we got to do to create a smooth type radius. We're going to go to Tools, and cleaning up the artwork, you're going to use Optimizing Vectors, Convert Beziers to Arcs, or Convert Lines to Arcs. These three options are pretty much what you're going to use. Knowing that this now is a bunch of lines, we'll go to Lines to Arcs, and this function all kind of works the same, the Beziers to Arcs. If it was a Bezier file, when I clicked on the control point and drug it away, little handlebars would have popped up, but they didn't, so I know that these are straight lines. So I'm going to go to this button up here. This is going to show all the letters in the job. This one shows all the letters in the Define Material box, but I want to just show the letters in the job so I can see it a little better. Okay, so let's clean up this artwork. Let's go to Tools. We're going to convert lines to arcs. You're going to work in this screen up in here. If any of this is checked, just uncheck it all. Leave the lines to arcs checked. This can be left at 6, or you could put it at 0. Let's just leave it at 6. Your maximum deviation is going to be set real low when you first get it. Make sure you change it to 50, and your smooth factor is probably going to be around 12. Bump that number up to 22. And as you see, and as we're doing it, we're eliminating control points here and there. You can preview it. You have to press done to make it stick. So now let's take a look at the control points again. You can see how we've reduced a lot of them right in here. We're going to change that. We're going to fix that. We're going to add some more control points in later. However, I want to add an outline around it now. So I'm going to dump this function by hitting this button up here. I'm going to go to the Tools, and I'm going to put an outline around this. And we're doing a plastic face channel letter with this job. So we find that a .030 outline will allow you to have enough space around the letter and give you a nice comfortable fit. So this is the only one I'm going to worry about, and I'm going to put a 0.03 outline around it. You'll see these numbers change. Don't worry about your percentage of your first. This is all about a second outline. We're not going to do that. Don't worry about that. When you get Sign Wizards, this oat, it comes in at 70. Change that to 0. Make sure you got a 0 there. Unclick all of this stuff. Just leave original. Unclick it all. You don't need any of that. You don't want the original because you'll get confused on which one to take. You're going to check the miter corners. You want a nice sharp corner. We don't want to see any radius corners. We want the sharp one. So make sure that's clicked. And then we go ahead and press done. Put an outline around it. Now we want to look at the control points. Go back to this button here. See the control points. And you're going to see that there's not enough control points in this particular arc here. So there's an easy way to fix that. You would go to Tools. You're going to go to Limit Arc Length. This screen pops up. 60 is a good number. If this number was bigger, like 10, or I'm sorry, smaller, like 10, it would add control points at every 10 degrees of angle. But you want 60, so leave it here at 60. We're going to press OK. It's going to add 23 more control points to this job. And you'll see them add in here and in here. See it right in there. So this looks really good right now. The next thing I want to do is I notice that in this crotch part of this letter here, there's a little tiny spot here. And if I click on that, you see how it turned a red dotted line? That is this line right here. If I click over here, you can see it a little better. The red dotted line is this number right here. So going back to here, my router bit is going to come in here, and I want my kerfing formula in my CLN software to operate properly. So in order to do that, we want to see the artwork look more like this. Take that square part out of it. Let the math formula of the kerfing program do its thing. I'm going to drag a box around this, delete it, drag a box around that one, delete it. Let me zoom in here just to look at that. Every time I see a cluster of control points, my eye gets drawn to it. This looks okay. They're not all, overlapping. So now what's going to happen with this is my router bit will come in. It'll bounce over to this side and then take off. And it's not going to go into the point here, but the math formula in the CLN machine will subtract the metal here, and the letter will fit fine. Okay, the next step, what I would do here is I would go in, and this is your start and stop position. I want to change that. Keep in mind, out at the machine, we process the letter in a clockwise direction. By using a leading tab, we're going to start the letter here, a leading tab, and then it's going to clockwise around here and finish up at the top. So our pop rivet can be put in here, and our seam piece won't allow any water to run into the letter. So I'm going to double click on the position where I want to move that start and stop, and I'm going to set start end here. Now you notice that this disappeared. By rolling in and out of the mouse, you refresh the screen. I'm going to go around and do all that to that one. This one's in a good spot because, once again, it's a leading edge. It's going to start here. It's going to go around this way, around the letter, and finish up over here, which I can put my pop rivet in. Let me change this one. Okay, this one here, you may wonder, where am I going to put it? I would go ahead and I would insert a control point. Just double click on where you want that control point to be. Go back, double click again, and set your start and stop position. Now anytime you set a start position and it's not in a corner like this one, it will automatically put a step down bend right here for you. So you don't have to think about that. The machine puts that in automatically. Let's go finish up these start and stop positions. You can do this out and move it around out at the machine. But if you're going to do this job and you're running it over and over, I would have your graphics guy do it right here. This way, it's saved, and you're good to go. Okay, so let's dump this function here. I like to move this down in a corner here, and the next step would be let's export it. But before you export, let me explain something about these red lines and these blue lines. This is all about setting the direction. If this job looked like this, with these insides blue, it's going to run backwards in the CLN machine. So what I just did by going to arrange and break into loops, it allowed me to separate these letters. If I needed to stack it or whatever I needed to do, it allows you to manipulate the whole job. I'm going to hit backspace to put that back. Now to set the direction right, drag a box around it, go back up to arrange. And the only two I use in here is break into loops and combined. So I want to set the direction properly. I'm going to combine it. That's going to put the insides red and the outsides blue, and that sets your direction out there at the machine, so you don't run the letters backwards. Now we're just going to go to export this job. We're going to do a file. We're going to go to export. We're going to name the job. I call it fix. Anytime I fix a job, I've imported it as insurance 1. I fixed it so I know it's going out to the machine. I know it's fixed. This here, you got a lot of choices here. You're going to want to, this is the only one you're going to want to use. AutoCAD DXF polylines with arcs. That's the only one you want to use. So we're going to click on that. You're going to say, leave this selection only. And that means that the job we grouped out of there, that's what we're saving. And then we're going to go ahead and export it. You're ready to go. This job is now ready to go out at the machine. Import it into your CLN machine and start running it. If you need to look at this setup file, we do have a paper copy of it on the website in the Artwork Setup, but this is how you do it. It's as simple as that. Alrighty, call if you have any questions, but this should help you out. All right, thank you.